Hey guys, just recording this on my camera before I put it up online. This recording is why I'm getting into, Norse myth, Celtic myth, and Maori myth. Is to preserve, it's tools towards having a preserved, centered, consistent ego. Because when I was a Christian, it was like the Maori identity of doing kapa haka and learning the language and that, as well as being Christian, was the things that centered my ego. Because growing up in a world where you're neurodivergent or some sort of neurominority, depending how you view it, for me, I say neurodivergent because we have the freedom, we have the ability to think for our own. That's how I view it. It's not like, we're diverging from the norm. It's like, we think for ourselves. And the thing is like, if you've got like 3 or 4 friends, and then you have a girlfriend, and if she has a family that accepts her for who you are, for who she is, and then they accept you for who you are once you've developed a long relationship, it doesn't really matter what the rest of society says, unless it, because we're not a threat, because we're so small in percentage, they just leave us be. So just leave us be, and you don't go around causing harm to other people. Right. So that's pretty much it. Why? Because the poor in spirit is true. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for they shall receive the Holy Spirit. The kingdom of heaven is theirs. If they receive it. Otherwise, even that can be false, because they might not ever receive it, because they might not want it. Because they might say, what's the point of having empathy or compassion? We've never had empathy or compassion. Why would we care? But then when they get these types of things, it's like anything that if you don't have any, you become really appreciative, or really the value of this, because you know what it's like to not have it. When it comes to the meek shall inherit the earth, that's just lies. Have a look at who rules the world. Have a look at the different peoples that have run the world throughout human history. Whenever a tribe of people became weak, they lost their spot. It's all about love and compassion and all this stuff, which is exactly where it should be. But throughout human history, whenever that has happened, they have been knocked off their pedestal and taken down. And because quite often what happens, like if you see like the Amazon, people in the Amazon and stuff like that today, for an example, because there was times where Europe was viewed as the most uncivilized place on this earth. The Vikings and the Celts, they were like, man, these people were, when the so I don't know if the Roman Empire went right around the world, who knows, they may have, but the Roman Empire, we know, owned 1/3 of the world. Like 1/3 of the world was under its leadership. And so the Roman emperors used to say that the most uncivilized people on the face of this planet, the most uncivilized, most barbaric people they ever come across was my people. The the Germanic tribesmen, the Celtic tribesmen. Maori is too. Maori too, but Maori is different tribes came from different Polynesian islands to New Zealand, and before they were in Poland, who knows? Like maybe the Asians went to Polynesia and had kids with them, and that's where the strands come from. But humans are humans, But it's always good to find the connections, so that when you bump into so-called foreigners or people that are different, if you have ancestral links, then that brings a peace, because actually, no, we are related. There's a connection, So, yeah, and if you want to know who rules the world in 500 years time or 1,000 years time or whatever, I'd say it's a few hundred. Do you want to know who rules the world in that time frame? Have a look at who's perceived by societal standards to be, the standards of those who are the most wealthy in the world, or, the biggest empires. Because the funny thing is, it's not funny, it's ridiculous. The empires, people who live in these empires are poor and struggling, but it's the whole perceived thing of, this empire is the most powerful and that's my people, type of thing. So they said online that we're not supposed to be here, but I received this information all right throughout my life all the time, and even at school. Just because everyone else is doing this, Daniel, you're supposed to be a better boy than the rest, Daniel. If everyone else jumped off a bridge, would you? Now, they know I'm here. They are. Yeah? Yep. I'll just be in a minute.
No, you've got to leave now.
Right. So it turns out that it does apply, and the other security guards that are here are going by it, because it's actual, because half the time people say things to me and then they don't even live up to their end of the bargain, and it's not they don't live up to their end of the bargain, but they're not listening, and then it doesn't get enforced, and so I end up putting in all this extra effort. See, I do patrolling once an hour, and then when there's no passengers and I've done the patrolling, it's nothing to do, so I often just go and pick up my phone. It's been charging in here, because the next time when this charger runs out, I'm going to get a portable charger. But I knew that when I know that for the past couple of months. I'm just waiting for this one to bugger out. And yes, so everyone, the other security guards in here are going by that. So no special treatment for me. There's been many times where I followed it and they didn't, and then after that I was just like, fine. Like within the same day I was like, fine, and it's reverted back to doing the things that I just said. And there's a kitchen in there too, so usually I'd pick a time when there's no passengers. I've done many patrols, or a few patrols or something, and then go in there and have some lunch when there's no workers for Kiwi Rail up at the smoko room. And I'm allowed to, but it's just that big Rotom, and there's a company called Rotom with Kiwi Rail doing a whole bunch of work here, so we can't go in there until the 7th of January. So but yes, because being neurodivergent, you have to fit in with the majority in order to survive. And so I was always adapting, and I was always putting other people's needs ahead of my own. So the only time I wasn't was when had to do with kapa haka and Maori language and things like that, and Christianity. So I'm getting into Norse myth and Celtic myth because that's my ancestry, and Maori myth, that's my ancestry. But I'm getting into that stuff because there's half the things, my life experiences and studying human history has revealed to me that half the things that Christianity taught is true. The other half isn't. Like, the meek shall inherit the earth. Like, those who put the needs of other people and turn the other cheek are those who inherit the earth. Have a look at human history and have a look at who runs the world now. And then it's the poor, blessed are the poor in spirit, for they shall see God, and all this type of stuff, Well, they become blessed when this happens. So, yes, there is but it's good to have You know, because I've had to put everyone else's needs and opinions ahead of my own my whole life, so it's always good to have some ego censoring. You know what I mean? Yeah. Still